Hello there. This is the World Cup Ready Show. Mr. World Cup. Mr. World Cup not here today. He's out in Oklahoma taking us some business, but you got Mr. World Cup 2 here today. And just happen to have the Honorable Mr. Marvin Arrington, City Councilman for District 5, right?
Yeah, Fulton County Commission, District 5. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
Right.
Glad to be here.
We're glad to have you. Now, what we're going to talk about, we'll talk about the World Cup and then we'll talk about you and we'll go back and forth.
Okay.
But, with the World Cup, we about 14 businesses came together after there wasn't a apparent plan back in August to activate 2,000 entrepreneurs and get them into a position to where they won't feel left out by the World Cup like they felt left out by the Olympics.
Right.
We didn't want to repeat that what happened 30 years ago or leave the impression that we were left out. But in doing so, we've gone through and we're having classes where we educate them on how to do business, how to scale their business, how to react to foreigners who are coming into our country. We're going to have about 500,000 people here for 30 days. Not one day, but 30 days, 39 days, really. And with that comes a whole list of challenges that if you're not prepared for as a business, you won't be able to take full advantage of it. Like for example, there may be foreign currencies involved.
Right.
Like to that end, we're proposing a POS solution, a point of sale solution that takes money from any country and converts it. So you don't have to go through currency exchanges at the airport and pay that fee.
Right.
You just convert it right there at point of sale. And we have several initiatives going on to where we're activating portions of the city. For example, we partnered up with Tamika Holyfield, and we had a park over there, Cook Park.
Okay, yep.
Yeah,
Bill Cook.
Yeah, we're activating big turnout for Cook Park throughout the World Cup, and we have various. But let's see now, something happened exciting in your life right now. You are running for the Fulton County Commissioner.
Yes, to be the next chairman of Fulton County. Very excited about it. We've got a lot of good things going on in Fulton County, and I've served as commissioner for the last 12 years.
Right.
And since 2015. After 12 years, it's time to graduate. It's time to move on up. So I'm offering myself to serve the residents of Fulton County. I'm the most qualified person for the job. I've been leading. I've led with veterans. I've led with our youth. I've led with the reparations task force. I have led over the last 12 years, and I'm ready to lead Fulton County into the future.
My man's gonna matriculate up to the next level. Okay. Now, when's the election?
So election's coming up April 27th. April 20th is the last day to register to vote or to update your registration. If you just moved from DeKalb or Clayton and you need to get registered, April 20th is the last day to register. And then April 27th is when early voting starts.
Right.
So early voting will run from April 27th to May 15th. And then the election day is May 19th. Mm-hmm. So real excited about it. And, speaking about World Cup, I partner with a nonprofit called Teens on Point.
Okay.
And we got together with the kids and we built 150 soccer goals to be placed into City of Atlanta parks, right?
Right.
So we could be World Cup ready.
Right.
We got to be
ready. You feel right into that.
Yeah, look, if they're coming to the city, we need to make sure that we have the ability for everyone to play soccer, and we really need to live a legacy, right? There needs to be a field. There needs to be some type of legacy project that will stay here so that the people of Atlanta and Fulton County will know that World Cup was here. I think Mayor Dickens says it best. We want World Cup to happen with us, not to us, right?
Exactly right.
So we definitely need to be inclusive as much as we can. So Fulton County is here to support, and if I'm elected as the next chair, we will definitely be able to take it to the next level. We got some other great things coming up. I know the city's pitching to get the Democratic National Convention in 28. I think we got Super Bowl coming again. Yeah. So it's exciting times in Atlanta and Fulton County.
Well, you know, you touched on two things that's very important. One being April 20th. If everyone in Georgia can go out and verify that they are still on the road,
yes.
It's very important, because there's been situations where people have been purged from the road, and there's no notification to you that you've been purged until you go to vote, and they, what do you call it?
And it's too late at that point. You have to get a provisional ballot. And in fact, they have purged over 240,000 people from the rolls.
Right.
And you could get purged not having anything to do with you. It's just that someone that died has your same name.
Right.
And they think, oh, well, that's the same person that died. And so they take you off the list. So please go check your voter registration status between now and April 20th, because if you have been purged, then you need to register by April 20th. This is a very important election. We got the governor's race, right. We got lieutenant governor, attorney general, Georgia Supreme Court. There's some big races up for grabs, and we need to make our voices heard, especially with all that's going on right now in the world, right? There's no more important time to vote and have your voice heard than now. If you want to stop what's going on, we've got to get out there and we got to vote in numbers like we've never voted before.
And I will emphasize that all of the residents of Georgia need to verify that you are still registered. Because you were registered last year doesn't mean you're on the polls this year. So verify, validate, and verify by April 20th. It's very important, like you said, it's a very important race, because you have so many public offices changing hands, and nothing worse than a person that doesn't vote sitting around and complaining. we don't have time for that.
That's right.
We don't have time. Another point you were making was a legacy. See, because that's what we do at the World Cup. We're establishing a legacy. So these businesses are not in business doing the World Cup and that's it. We want to establish generational wealth, so where these businesses can go on and go on to the next 30 years. So with your legacy standpoint, we want to have businesses out here that has a legacy also, can stand as a monument to the World Cup. Because I think it's a big adventure. I think it was back in 2022, they had the last World Cup, and I think it was like 2 billion people participating in the World Cup. Okay. Now, you talking about participating, that's actually going to games and all that stuff. But up to 5 billion actively participated, be it online or whatever. They had some participation in it. And see, with that 5 billion comes a lot of money. And what we have to do as Atlanta people, is present to the world what we do. Because the world's coming here to see Atlanta. They ain't coming here to see no Chinese version of Spain, Chinese version of Haiti. They come to see Atlanta. Because they already have to know what we do and like what we do, so forth. And they're coming to see Atlanta. So let's get out here and show them our best side.
Yes, I'm excited to do it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, right?
Right.
The equivalent of 8 or 10 Super Bowls within 30 days, right here in our city, right here in Fulton County. So we, the county needs to take advantage of it. The city needs to take advantage of it. The residents need to take advantage of it, and certainly small businesses and entrepreneurs need to take advantage of this once in a lifetime opportunity. We'll never see this many people within 30 days again, probably in our lifetime.
Right. You're talking about eight Super Bowls. Now, let's see. Now, Super Bowl has about how many does the stadium hold?
I don't know. They always choose the biggest stadiums for the Super Bowl, so I don't know. I don't know, 50, 60, 70,000. I think that's the one in Dallas though might hold 100,000.
Right. But that's a lot of people still yet. Even at 50,000 per, there's a lot of people. And the people are going to come here expecting, like I say, to see Atlanta. Not only Atlanta, all suburban Atlanta also. And we want to be welcoming to them and, participate in the commerce of it. But I'm very excited too. I'm very excited. But you as a county commissioner, chairman, what are your goals? What's your hot spots you want?
So we got a few hot spots. Number one, we need healthcare equity throughout Fulton County. Right now, there are 5 hospitals above I-20, and there are 0 hospitals below I-20. The city will be opening on June 2nd, so we're real excited about that. But phase 2 of that project is doctors' offices and buildings. So neurologists, gynecologists, optometrists, all the doctors are going to do office buildings.
Right.
And then the third phase of it will be building a full-fledged hospital.
Oh.
And so they came back and asked us for $300 million to build a full-fledged hospital. And so we agreed to finance the $300 million. Mm-hmm. It's a $900 million project, but the life expectancy below I-20 is 7 to 20 years lower than life expectancy above I-20. And that is, why I say that we need more healthcare equity in Fulton County. And we hear people talking about food deserts all the time, but this is a healthcare desert. So imagine that below I-20, we have food deserts, we have healthcare deserts, we have an everything desert below I-20, except for lemon pepper wings. We got plenty of lemon pepper wings below I-20. But as far as healthcare, as far as access to fresh food and groceries and produce, we've got to do a lot better all around, and we've got to pool our resources from the city, the state, the county. We all have to pool our resources together. But yeah, we're doing some great things. The other great thing I have tomorrow, we're going to be introducing the Reparations Task Force book.
Great.
So the Reparations Committee, I established the Fulton County Reparations Task Force. They've been studying for the last 4 years, and they have produced a 660-page book that is full of documented evidence of harm. Right. And there's a sister that's a history professor at Morehouse. She created a mathematical formula to measure harm. Oh. She's a bad mama jamma. She's World Cup ready.
World Cup ready. Well, you talk about so many things. You talk about health problems, and like with the increase of health insurance that happened because of the big ugly bill, whatever. You got that increase, and then over the last couple of years, several hospitals have closed in South Fulton, and all around rural Georgia. And with the closing of those hospitals, they didn't mean people were not getting sick.
Right.
They were getting sicker and just had to drive further to get help. and see any answer you can come up with that would be greatly appreciated. You talk about food deserts too, like food deserts. I know what you're talking about, food deserts. Uh, Let me ask you now. I know Latron Price. You know,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
my man.
Okay. Well, Latron Price, he basically has a farmers market out. Well, not what do you call that?
Cold storage
Cold
warehouse.
storage warehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know Latron.
Yeah.
Cold storage warehouse out in Forest Park. How's he playing into addressing food deserts?
Oh well, he's doing a great job. One of the few um, African American entrepreneurs that I know that has his own cold storage space. So basically, cold storage, he's got contracts to get food from Publix and Whole Foods and Kroger. They all have contracts. They're all store their food in his warehouse,
Right.
right? Because in the freezers and or refrigerators, I guess he has both, but so that the food stays fresh.
Right.
And so, great opportunity. There are going to be so many companies coming here. They're going to be buying all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great opportunity that Latron has over there.
Yeah, but you know, like you jumped to World Cup. What's coming here for World Cup? What I'm talking about the long-term solution for food deserts.
Yeah, so
He playing in that arena.
not as much as I would like to, right? I'm working with a couple different groups. I'm working with the Astro Fane Garden. They're doing some great things over there. I'm working with Kendall Ray, who's the youngest farmer in the state of Georgia.
Right.
She is, I think, maybe 8 or 11 now, but she's the youngest certified farmer in the state of Georgia and the youngest certified farmer in the U.S.
Right.
So she is amazing. So we're working with organizations that are already doing the work.
Right.
And so we work with them instead of trying to recreate the
Right,
wheel,
right.
start our own thing, start from scratch. It's easier to just jump on somebody's event that already has something going on.
Yeah. Okay. You know, you also talked about reparations, and it's great that this late has developed a formula that figured out just how
Yeah.
much damage has been done. But what's your opinion on the vote that was before the UN from the Ghana president about slavery being the greatest human tragedy in the world, and the United States not voting in support of that?
Well, I think it's timely. I think it's very timely. And we're releasing this reparations book tomorrow on April 16th, or Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow is Thursday, April 16th. April 16th, 1862 is when President Lincoln signed the Compensated Emancipation Act of D.C. And so compensated emancipation, I don't know about you, but that sounds like reparations to me.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you know, but then, you know, I heard yesterday that uh, Governor Spamberger, this is one of Virginia, right?
Okay, yeah.
She repealed some taxes that all the Confederacy had been collecting, not paying taxes since 1865.
Wow.
They were getting tax break since 1865. That's 150, 60 some years that the Daughters of the Confederacy and all those type of organizations that are out here supporting the installation of these statues and all.
Right.
They been living on Virginia tax rates.
Well, you know, it's crazy to hear that, but you know, we are living in some crazy times.
You're right about that.
And so, you know, we just have to stay vigilant. They're going to try to stop us from voting. They're going to try to take away all of the diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Right.
But while they're doing that, we're releasing a 660-page harm report
Right.
that documents and evidences. It goes through all the slave owners. It talks about the taxes that they had to pay on them. It talks about the tax credits that they got for them. Can you imagine this? The slaves didn't get reparations, but the owners owners did.
Yeah.
The slave owners got reparation, but not the slaves themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, the task force, I think, has documented over $1 trillion worth of harm done by Fulton County.
Right.
Just Fulton County.
Right.
Not the state of Georgia,
Right.
not the United States.
Yeah.
Over $1 trillion worth of harm that's been done by Fulton County to African Americans.
Right.
So that's phase one of the report. Phase two, in the next 2 years, they're going to bring back to us recommendations as to what they think Fulton County should do to repair that harm.
Right, that's fantastic work, man. I look forward to that, and any way I can be a part of it, I will. But, you know, just digging down into the history and coming up with justification, documenting justification, which is something that they are trying to do away with as they try to get rid of black history, is our ability to go back and dig out those documents.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, she went through all the public records, found all the documents, everything, and including them all in there. It's like a encyclopedia.
Right.
It's like an encyclopedia, like an old school World Book encyclopedia.
I hear you talk about 660 pages. Yeah, that's big book. Yeah, that's big as Moby Dick. Yeah, but yeah, that's great, man. Now you know. Well, what do you think about the ongoing attempt to erase Black history? Now, not saying that it just started. It's been going on ever since I've been born. But they just picked up the pace here lately. And I don't think that we are making a big enough issue about that.
Well, we need to make more of an issue of it. Here's what I tell people all the time. The squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Right.
And so if you don't squeak, you don't get any oil.
And
the reason you don't get any oil is because you're not squeaking. No one knows you need oil.
Right.
So if you squeak, then they would know you need oil. So we have to speak up. We have to speak out and do everything that we can to push back against everything that we're seeing right now coming out of this administration.
Yeah. You know, like you talk about squeaky wheel gets the oil. I think in some cases, in quite a few cases, they don't know they're squeaking.
Well,
What I mean is they don't know the history that we don't know.
Right. No, that's why it's so important for us to educate ourselves and to learn our history, because if we don't learn our history, we're destined to repeat the mistakes, right?
Right.
And so it's so important that we learn our history, we stay educated, so that we don't. I mean, we're going to all make mistakes.
Right.
We just don't need to make the same mistakes that have already been made, right? Let's make some new mistakes.
You know what happens when you do the same thing over and over and expect different results, right?
Insanity.
Right. Yeah. But no, this is good. Let's see. Back to the World Cup. What we're doing here, really, like I said, we're trying to activate 2,000 entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And you out here in television land or stream land or whatever, are welcome to join in. You can go to worldcupready.com and fill out the assessment. The assessment will do its magic, figure out what vertical you belong in, say technology, hospitality, or something like that, and it'll put you in that vertical, and then someone from that vertical will call you and engage you and get you involved. Now, this started off of a Grove Park, with the Grove Park Foundation,
Right.
and it's been going on because they have a goal over there to turn the medium income for a family from 29,000 to 54,000, which is an ambitious stance.
Right.
But they are well on their way of accomplishing it, because I've seen the class that they do on Saturday grow from like 9 people to 35 people, you know, like in a month or so.
Right.
So there's buy-in, there's lean for it. So I encourage you to go to WorldCupRadio.com, see what we have, because we have like city tour books, where you get this tour book and, based on where you are standing, you can recommend some places you go to, restaurants, etc. But there's a lot of information that we have out on WorldCupRadio.com. And like I say, Mr. World Cup Ready, who's Eric Fears, our fearless leader, who's not here today, but I hope I did him proud by what I'm doing. But I'm filling in for him as World Cup Ready, Mr. World Cup Ready #2. But let's see, now, we talked about the hospitals, we talked about food justice. Now, what can we do from a World Cup Ready standpoint to help you in Fulton County to raise people up?
Well, I think it's just about getting the word out, right? I think it's just about letting people know what's going on. This is Fulton County. This is Atlanta. This is the home of Dr. Martin Luther King, right? Dr. Ralph David Abernathy. Joseph E. Lowry, who was my pastor, Joseph Boone. So many greats that have come before us. And so all we have to do, I think, is continue to spread the gospel, spread the good news about who these people are, about who our city is, right? And as long as we do that, we'll be in a great position. We need everyone to be World Cup ready. What's the old saying? You stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? So we need to stay World Cup ready so we don't have to get World Cup ready.
But, okay, let me segue to this. I taught some streams. I do streams. Okay, I have a barbershop type stream that we'll be shooting after this. I have another stream that I'm setting up to be the spokesperson to the world from Atlanta. I'm changing the name from Atlanta Sound Exchange to the Atlanta Renaissance. See, because in Renaissance, all it's been so far is one Renaissance in New York, in Harlem. Harlem Renaissance. Yeah, but see, at the same time, that went on late 20s, early 30s, right? Okay, but see, there's been Renaissance going on someplace else, like Georgia, for example, like with all the arts and crafts that been happening. Say in 1950, you had Little Richard and Joe Otis Redding. And then in 1960, you had Civil Rights Movement. Okay, you had Gus Nathan Pills and Curtis Mayfield. In the 70s, you had Maynard Jackson came on the scene. He changed things around drastically. A little bit of history here for you. He changed things around drastically because in expanding the airport, he allocated 20%, 35% of the contracts to blacks.
The minorities.
That's where you got C.W. Moody come from.
Right.
Okay? C.W. Moody, whose trucks you see out on the road everywhere. H.J. Russell came out of that.
Yes.
Okay? Yes. Then you had Andrew Young.
Yes.
Andrew Young come out of that. He was city mayor, he was a senator, and then he was United Nations ambassador. And then we get into the 80s and you got Daz Band and all these other bands, and all of a sudden you're into music all of a sudden. To where when Andre 2000 said 3000, Andre 3000 said the South has something to say.
And we do.
And we do. But see, we've been leaving that up to like New York media scene and LA media scene to interpret what's going on here in Atlanta, to speak for Atlanta through their lenses. But see, I feel that we can speak for ourselves. And to that end, we started a show this week called Atlanta Renaissance, the Atlanta Renaissance.
All right.
Okay. It's gonna be on Twitch, Kick, YouTube, all the channels, all the streaming channels out there. But we started that this week. We had a powwow right before Mayor. I want to call you Mayor and Harrington.
Commissioner Marvin Arrington.
Commissioner Marvin Arrington showed up. We had a meeting about that very thing. I'm pretty excited about that. But you know, it's a lot of things to be excited about right now. You know, you run for commissioner. You know, you got Andre in here for 4 more years. You got all this turnover in the politics, in the political arena. But
well, it's time to pass the baton to the next generation of leaders. We have leaders that have served well for the last 50 years, but if we're going into the future, we need to have someone who actually uses email, someone who actually uses text messages, someone that actually uses AI. It's just time to pass the baton to the next generation of leaders. We're ready to take over. We're ready to lead. I've already been leading through all of my actions that I do on an annual basis for the last 12 years. So it's our time.
It's our time. Here it is right here. No, that's a good, you know, you talk about passing the baton, you know, you're absolutely right about that. But as opposed to just anybody running up and getting the baton, we have to qualify and vet who we turn the baton over to. See, that's one frustrating to the young people. They say, you don't live the lead, you gotta live the lead. But are you capable of leading, you know?
Right.
That's the question that has to be answered. You see, because it'd be irresponsible for us to turn over the baton to somebody who can't lead. Then we stand back frustrated at your failures. But we want the best to be the best. But Mayor?
Well, absolutely. You know, we always want the best to represent us. I'm glad to be an APS graduate, a graduate of Frederick Douglass High School.
Right.
Went on to the University of Virginia, graduated from Emory Law School. I've been practicing law for 30 years, father of 4 daughters. So I'm Atlanta born, Atlanta bred, and when I die, I'll be Atlanta dead.
Yeah. Now me, I'm not from Atlanta. I'm from West Virginia. I'm a little boy from a little town trying to make it in a big city. But me, I got 4 girls and 1 son. And all of them are successful, not creating any headache for me. So you know, I'm living life right now.
That's a blessing.
I've been technology for 54 years now, and I know how to use email and AI and all that stuff because I managed to keep up with technology despite the fact I moved away from it. Like I have streaming shows right now, you know.
Right.
Me streaming. I'm 70 years old, by the way, and
wow.
Me streaming. I'm out here doing it. But, you know, like my kids, I have one, the CFO of Eardrummers, which is my son's company. One, Bank of America branch manager. One, level 3 communication project manager, and one default manager at Truist. And then I have my son. My son is Mike Will. Mike Will made it. That's my son. So that's my little posse.
Yeah. Look, you got the right posse. Look, Mike Will made it. It's gonna be a hit.
Yep.
Every time. Look,
Every
it's gonna
time.
be a hit.
Yep. But you'd like to say hello to somebody? Last words.
Hello, Fulton County. This is Commissioner Marvin Arrington. I'd like to be the next chairman of the Fulton County Commission. Here with Mike Will made his dad. We're getting it in. We're talking about being World Cup ready. We want all of Atlanta, all of Fulton County to be World Cup ready so we can all make some money. As Mayor Dickens said, we don't want World Cup to happen to us. We want World Cup to happen with us. So let's get ready, Fulton County. Peace up. A-Town down.
Well, there you have it. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Mike Will.
Fired! Shots fired!